Welcome, everyone, to Hockey Night in Australia. I'm your host, Sean O'Connor, and tonight I am joined by Claire Collins, filling in for Court. Claire, how are you going?
I'm good. Missing Court, but I'll do my best.
And our special guest this weekend, Chris Landgille. Have I pronounced that right, Chris?
Pretty much perfect, yeah. Pretty much
awesome.
Perfect.
From the Perth Thunder and front row screens commentator over in Western Australia. Chris, how are you going?
Very well. Thanks for having me on. It's probably a key weekend for the Thunder with the ice visiting, so appreciate it very much.
Yeah, well, it's been, I think right now is like the nitty-gritty of Perth season sort of coming together after last weekend and now what's coming up this weekend.
Absolutely.
We do kick off with a comment here from Court. She is in chat. Court, get well soon. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, wow. Absolutely amazing to have you both on. I just wanted to start with Claire. You're joining Oz Hockey Media. How are you feeling about this? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm really, really excited. I think it'll be good to build on the relationships with the teams in kind of our side of the country and build on that and bring some extra content to Oz Hockey Media.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you on board, both Court and I, and excited to see what additional content we can put out there, and having someone, on the ground at some different rinks would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll have to get over and see Chris at some point too.
Oh man, every season I always go, can I get to Perth this year?
Yeah.
I still haven't got over though, Chris.
What's
it like going to a Perth Thunder game?
Well, the barn's always packed. Line up out this, like we go over with the boys for the game at about 1:45, and there's already people lined up outside for a 4:00 game to get in, and they've already bought tickets. They're not even buying tickets; they're just trying to get a decent seat. The seating area is, I think, seat 600. And a lot of the fans choose to stand around the glass just because it's a better view. And of course, they've got the crossbar, the original Monday Old Timers Hockey moth bar, as they call it, and that's usually packed. And it's a really good hockey atmosphere at the Perth Arena, and really enjoy going to the games, and particularly watching Riley play. And I've got Ryan, his older brother, on the bench as the equipment manager too. So it's kind of a family affair.
No, that sounds awesome. Yeah, it always looks like it's a fun barn to go to. It always looks packed on the screen. So yeah.
The opposing goalies always have an ongoing conversation with the patrons in the bar up behind them, telling them how good they are in goal and all that kind of stuff, the positive stuff.
Nice. We do have Tori here saying that Perth games are great and their hospitality is excellent. So yeah, I'm sure anytime anyone makes an effort to go travel to Perth, just like it is when Perth fans go traveling to any other games, everyone is always excited because there is such a distance there. And it's the same with finals too. I love it when Perth Thunder fans make it to finals. Like, it's always so great to see.
Yeah, we had a group of Perth fans. Sorry, you go.
No, go ahead.
I went to the Ice Dogs Perth game on Friday, and there was a bunch of Perth fans all in their matching jerseys up against the glass, and they were so lovely. They were just so happy to be there and so welcoming to everyone else as well, even though it was their trip away. It was really cool to see.
Yeah. No, that's there's a small but very vocal traveling crew, I know.
Court also says that Perth is also on her to-do list, her goal list. So yeah,
I did get to meet Court in Melbourne last year at finals for the first time, so that was very nice.
Yeah. We do have here. Congratulations, Claire.
Thank you. I need to work out who that is.
I don't know who it is. No, I don't know. And then Daniel Collins. Love the Caps cap. Yeah. Yes, Claire did just inform me, Daniel, that you are a Caps fan. So Yeah, this is from a friend who was living over in Washington, and was so sick and tired of seeing me wear my Rangers cap, so he decided to send me a cap. So there you go. Washington does it as something like that. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's get into this. So, Chris, how did you come to hockey? How did you get to the AIHL?
Wow.
What's your story?
It's a bit of a long one, but I'm not going to make it long. I mean, I started like a lot of Canadians on skates when I could walk. I started playing organized hockey in Halifax, Nova Scotia in 1968. So I've been at it for 58 years, watching, playing, coaching, and enjoying the game. It's given me opportunities, but I wouldn't say I played at a super high level. I just enjoyed playing the game. And since I guess my early 20s, I just played sort of recreational beer league style hockey and really loved it. And now I'm doing some coaching here in Perth with the local Premier League team and the Flyers, West Coast Flyers. But also,
yes, I know the West Coast Flyers. There you go.
Yeah, well, I think there are a few kids that have moved over your way that have played here. In fact, I believe, and coaching and helping coach mentor with some of the coaching courses that we run here. My journey took me through growing up in the Maritimes to northern Manitoba for a couple of years, where the only thing to do in the wintertime was play in the local hockey rink, and that probably played more hockey then than I've ever played. In Sudbury, and then from Sudbury in the mining industry, I ended up here in Perth. And I've been here for 26 years.
I always think of Shawsey when I think of Sudbury.
Well, yeah, I mean, I played in that rink. I mean, I know it very well. I used to play in the Sudbury Commercial Industrial League on Sunday nights after the local major junior team played. So I do know that rink, and I actually have played on the outdoor rink that they showed in the last season series that
nice.
They had that big tournament against the European squad or wherever they were from. So it brings back memories.
Nice. And so how did you get involved with the AIHL?
Well, I mean, obviously Riley plays. He's been around. There's other guys that I know that have been involved in the AIHL, and at one point I arrived 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was, for the very first game of the season, and I walked in and Andrew Cox was standing there. He says, "Oh, you want to do the commentary?" The guy didn't show up. And I mean, I did little bits of it that year with Jordan Scarletti, and Luke Worthington was a bit involved, but he had gone to Sydney, I think, by then.
Yeah.
And in the last 3 years, it's been me and Dave Ruck. And recently, Luke Worthington has come back on board to do interviews and so on. And that's been involvement. And Riley's been playing after playing 3 years in Canada for the Thunder and is contributing mightily. And Ryan's on the bench as the equipment manager, and we actually both get on the ice for practices. Ben Bro and Mark Valancourt, the coaches, have been gracious in inviting us onto the ice, and I get to push pucks and watch things develop. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been quite an experience, and that's how I really got involved in the Thunder. It's just enjoying watching the game, watching Riley play, watching Ryan grow up as well and play. He's a very good hockey player in his own right. So
what a good opportunity.
Yeah, and I mean, very much amateur hour. I started doing commentary back in, I think it was the Ginsburg tournament here in Perth in 2017, and they had the camera and they had a microphone, and nobody was doing it. So I was actually in the bench running the penalty box bench, and they handed me the microphone. They said, "Here, can you do commentary?" And I did that one, and people seemed to like it. And I did a couple of Sharks AJ games, and I did a couple of I did the DeFreeze tournament here in 2019, and the Tange here in 2022, and last year when the tournament was here, I think I almost matched Eric's epic 54 game broadcasting schedule for the tournament here in Perth last year. So yeah, that's my journey to hockey, and I still continue to enjoy it.
That's amazing.
That's wild.
Yeah, and of course, my wife Sandy, she's actually in Newcastle this weekend as an assistant coach with the WA Boxall team. So
that's incredible. It's definitely a family affair.
It is. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's awesome. How's it like? Obviously calling with Dave Ruck, and then, as you said, you got Luke now doing interviews this year, and you obviously deal with Matt a lot as well. What's it like, that production for during games, and then obviously this season you guys have raised the level of your production as well.
Yeah. I want to have a shout out to Matt, Front Row Screens. I mean, he's put on a huge effort this year to try and improve the product and the presentation with the additional cameras. I mean, a few minor teething issues with the cameras, and but I think overall, Matt's really put a foot forward to try and get things improved. We got a different camera platform now that's higher and a bit safer and has a better view of the ice, and the two over net cams. So a real shout out to Matt for his efforts in getting things going. Rucky and I mean, we've coached on and off together basically since we arrived in Perth, and he was here and coaching Thunder, playing for Thunder, and running clinics for the boys. Both boys were coached by him. And a lot of the guys that you see, the locals that you see on Thunder, would have been benefited from Dave's coaching. Jordy Kairos and Weber and Webby and Lyndon Lodge and Yannick Lodge, and all those guys would have been coached by Ruck and would have been brought up through the system. And he's so knowledgeable about the game, not only just WA players, but his involvement in the U20 coaching role. He knows a lot of the young guys for all the other teams and has coached them at some point in time in his career. And so I think his knowledge of the game and just my joy of talking about the game and going through the color commentary, I think it makes a good little team. And with the addition of Luke doing interviews, and I mean, you saw the interview that they did with Jordy Kairos on his 300th game last week, and with Bert Malloy a few weeks back. I mean, really adds, I think, to the overall broadcast, and it's just something that again, Front Row Screens has really put in an effort to try and bring things up, I think. And we're looking for further improvements, and I think you'll see additional things come along down the pipes as we go forward.
Amazing. Claire, did you have anything you wanted to ask Chris?
I just think it's nice to see the longevity in it for you, and it's nice for you to be able to see things evolve and kind of players coming up the ranks, and it really builds a home. It's really cool.
Yeah, and we've got a bunch of other younger players that are coming on, and they'll get worked into the mix as we go forward. Max Lashenko scored his first goal, AIHL goal last weekend, and others, Braden Mabey and Patrick Suture, Tyler Kolev, Finley Gordon's away right now. He's not around. Drew Robson, all those young guys are coming up, and they'll be the future of the Thunder, and along with other kids that are still playing Tange and so on. So it's fun to see.
Drew's funny. Every time you see a photo of Drew Robson, he's always smiling. He's always got the biggest smile on his face. I feel like this is a guy who loves playing hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. He's fun to be on the ice with too. Yeah.
Do have a couple of comments here. In the USA upstate, you play hockey or nothing else. Look, that's probably true
right.
Everywhere in North America.
They don't call Minnesota the state of hockey for nothing, right?
And always the best way to get a job. Look, like you just get shoved into it. You get a start. I mean, the only time I've ever commentated in the AIHL was literally just I had sat down with a beer, and then it was like, Sean, can you come up and commentate? We need someone. So
that liquid courage.
Yeah, throwing
very much amateur hour as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's what I consider myself, amateur hour. So whenever I do it, it's just.
Well, I realized there's never been a time where I've realized more how conscious actually my language is, because I often trip over words and stuff like this, and I'll say the same thing I notice in commentating all the time, and I'm like, this is not very good. I'm I always have a new appreciation to what you guys for what you guys
I
do.
always have to watch the games again. First of all, because I can't pay attention to Riley playing while I'm doing the play-by-play. So I watch to see him, but I also watch to see all the mistakes I make and laugh at them. Who is this guy?
But yeah, the other thing I noticed about it too is just how concentrated you get on the actual game, like in everything that's happening. Like like compared to being a spectator, when you're actually calling, you're like hyper concentrated on it. Doogie here. Better time for Chris than the 6 a.m. Saturday morning for some other dude.
Yeah, thanks, Doogie.
And speaking of Doogie here, yet again, no Doogie. Fake news, week 2. Look, it's going to be fake news all the weeks at the moment.
I'm pretty good at telling the story.
He's a busy lad. We've just had full rosters of some other people coming on, which is really cool. I'm sure we'll see Doogie again on the show at some point.
Yeah.
And big fan of Drew. Loved getting to know him when he was at Newcastle in 2024. It's true. It's interesting. You look at that Perth team, and especially given that Perth had that one season where they set out in 2022, you actually had a lot of Perth players who have had experience playing for other teams in the AI.
Woodman, Lyndon Lodge, Rob Hazelhurst, Drew Robson. We got young Lockie Suture this year playing for the Mustangs, who's doing very well. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He is. Yeah, Al Pundler, I believe, played over during the closeout, the COVID years.
Yeah.
Forgetting anybody.
Yeah.
It is good for players to see other coaching styles as well, which is good, and then bring that experience back and kind of work that in with the team.
Yeah, and other sort of, hockey cultures and stuff like this, and different ways people do things. I thought the Sydney guys also got a taste of that with their, not being in the competition last year as well and playing for different teams. So, really interesting. But it has created a very good Perth team, I think. They're going great guns at the moment. So obviously, last weekend was a massive weekend for Perth. 3 games, 3 days, 3 venues, 3 cities essentially: Sydney, Arena, and Brisbane. And you got 9 points from 9. I don't think anyone had that on the cards.
I think they would have been happy with maybe 6 out of the weekend. Obviously, the target is always to win, but you got to play the right way, and they did. And they adjusted their game on Sunday a little bit to account for the fact they played the 2 games. They weren't as aggressive on the forecheck, and they sort of let the other team come to them, and then took advantage of their opportunities. So I thought it was a really well played weekend for them. And of course, having the the goalie tandem that Perth now has with the 2 local goaltenders. I mean, Charlie Smart's burning it up this year. I mean, he's got his best ever goals against average, his best ever save percentage. He's number 1 and 2 in the league in those 2 stat categories. Have him and Alexei together. I mean, Alexi's having a fantastic season. It's, I think, his 2nd or 3rd best season in 9 seasons. He's well below his career average of 371 goals against to 219. And, his save percentage is up close to 300, which is, on career, it's been 885, 886. So to have those 2 as local goaltenders is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, as soon as they signed Charlie Smart at the start of the year, you're like, wow, this is going to be like one of the best goalie tandems the league has probably ever seen.
Yeah.
It definitely makes them a team to watch, I think. And going into that, the 9 points on offer, you can see how much it's shaken up the ladder. You guys have, your 2 goalies in the top 5. Everything's paving the way.
Yeah, and I mean, it all starts with goaltending and from the back, playing it out from the back. I mean, the goaltending, the defense. I mean, having the 2 import defensemen from Finland has been fantastic. I mean, all the imports, the crop of imports this year for the Thunder has been phenomenal. Not only from hockey, but also from team and outside the game, and everybody just seems to click. And we've got the two or three of the import guys coming out regularly with our under 13s, under 15s, and under 17s teams to help coach. I've had them come out with the Prem team a couple of times earlier in the season just to get some extra skating, but also to show the younger kids in particular on the Premier League teams just what you have to do in a practice to succeed. And so having all those guys around and involved in the community, not just on the team, the performance aside has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I love it when imports put in that extra time and try and teach kids and stuff like this. It's fantastic. I know that's like one of the reasons like Obi was loved at the Rhinos, for instance, Claire, is that he would put in lots of time for juniors and stuff like this. And I just love that.
Talk to him too when he was here about that, about contributing back into the community, and I had a really nice conversation with him when he was here last year, not this year.
Yeah, he's lovely, and you can really see when they do, like the juniors absolutely love it, right? The juniors love it, and the guys get to give back. And we talked previously about it's that buy-in from the team, right, on and off the ice, and obviously together when you train, but also giving back. Like it makes a massive difference for the team as a whole.
And I don't want to take anything away from past year's imports. We've always had pretty darn good imports. There's been a few problem children over the years that didn't stick out the full season. But we've been pretty fortunate. I think the Thunder have with the imports over the last few years. But in past they've had to use that import goaltender, and that means that they couldn't have that additional top end defender that could support our existing top local defenders. I mean, our local defensemen are no slouches. They're all very, very, very good players, and but to have that import ability to add that extra defense makes a huge difference.
And it is interesting. You do see, like, there's obviously some teams that do have import goaltenders, and then some don't. And then you see some people that will bring an import goaltender for a few years to try and essentially help teach up who will be their future local goaltender who will take over the number one. And when you don't have to use that import slot on a goaltender, it makes a massive difference to the depth in your team.
Yeah, it does. And I think Donald McDonald is really keen on local goaltenders and getting local goaltenders further up the depth chart and playing. And I think this year, I mean, we're seeing more local goaltenders playing. Jacob Dornbos and
he's doing so well.
Name a few more.
Trinka down in Newcastle.
Matus, of course, yeah.
You've still got Alex in Canberra. We do have quite a lot of local goaltenders, and I mean even the two Sydney teams, right? Ryan Burrows, who's obviously was living over in North America, is now here, but he's Australian, and he's doing really well for the Ice Dogs, and then Hayden Plymley for the Bears. Yeah,
Plymley?
He's so good.
Yeah.
And what a pickup
last weekend.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, got a shutout. Yeah.
And Burrows as well. I mean, he's just a young kid. And he didn't play at a very real high level. He played in the VI, the Vancouver Island Junior League, which is the same team that Lockie Suture and Luca Mumet and Riley played there for a while, as did Ethan Hawes for the North Stars. I mean, it's not a decent junior league, but it's not one of the top junior leagues in Canada. So he hasn't played at a really high level, and to come over here and play the way he's played, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, he does strike me as someone who's a very confident young fellow. So it's really good to see, and it really adds even more local depth and a lot more teams that don't need to have import goaltenders. And we do have some comments on here. Local goalies for the win from G, and they are the most consistently strong team, and like that was referring to the Perth goaltenders.
I feel like with the goalies lately, you see the development year on year, and you know it's coming. But this year, I feel like there's just been a massive shift. throughout the
There
whole
is.
league.
I agree. And I can't forget Dylan Dewar as well, who's from Perth and is now playing for Brisbane this year and getting some opportunities to play over there, which he really needs for his own development. So good to see him as well.
It is. It really is good to see that. And I love the fact that teams are willing to put in the youngsters and play them too. Like even the Ice, they're obviously waiting for a sheeter, but there were a number of games where, Forrest and Hill got to play, and that's really good for Forrest's progression, for instance.
Tom played for a year in the Vancouver Island Junior League as well, so it's, seen a few Aussies go through the ranks.
Yeah.
A great destination for Aussies. I love that. That's really cool. All right. So I did want to jump on again for that big weekend. Two things that struck me was in two of those games, the Thunder came from behind in the first period.
Yeah.
I mean, they ended up winning quite well, but, they actually, they had to come, face some adversity and come from behind. And they prove that they can do that. They're not afraid of conceding first, and they know that they've got it in their ability to come back.
Yeah, and they've got enough experience that they don't panic. And if they do get behind, they know that they've got the firepower. I mean, they're one of the top scoring teams 5-on-5. They are the top scoring team in the league 5-on-5. And they have the fewest goals against, both overall and 5-on-5 of any other team in the league. So, I mean, they've got no trouble getting a couple goals and then, turning it around.
And that was another thing on the weekend that struck me as well, was that the Thunder led in shots in all three games.
Yeah.
So they had 145 shots to 93 against.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing considering all the travel and recovery that they would have to try and do backing up those 3 games in 3 days. Amazing.
Where Thunder have actually struggled a bit more this year is on games after bye weekends. And a lot of teams do that. You stay sharp by playing. And so if you're not playing one weekend, you can do as much practice as you want. It's not the same thing as a game situation. And I noticed that the games after those bye weekends, they always started off a bit slow in that first period. And in one case, just didn't have enough in the second and third period to come back that they needed. So I think that's probably a bigger impact on a team's ability to be successful on weekends following byes than it is playing more.
That's also interesting too, because I know, like in previous seasons as well, I'm thinking down the track here to finals, we've often had a week break between the end of the regular season and then finals. We don't this year, for instance, and I don't think we did last year either. But I wonder how big a difference that makes for teams as well going into finals. Being match fit as opposed to having a week off, and starting slowly. Yeah. Especially when it's one and done.
It'll be good for them to go into a home game weekend this weekend after 3 wins last weekend.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, they match up well. I mean, the Ice as well as the Brave, I mean, they always, in the past 3 or 4 years, seem to have started off slow. And they get their imports in place and start playing hockey, and boom, the next thing you know, they're challenging for first, second, third place in the ladder. And I don't see any difference this year between those two teams. The Thunder, the Brave, and the Ice are the 3 hottest teams in the league right now. 6-3. I think the Thunder are 7-2-1, and the Brave are 6-3-1 or something like that as well. So it's 2 hottest teams, and the Brave and the Ice are really coming on now that they've got their imports sorted and in place.
Yeah. No, it is true, and I do believe that some of the big players from the Ice are traveling to Perth this weekend, like some of the players who had been playing in the Ice Hockey Classic. So that's also interesting. Although I did see that I think Josh Adkins is playing tonight in Canberra. So I don't know if he's going to be traveling to Perth this weekend. But
we normally get an official list on Saturday mornings of the traveling teams so that we can prepare for the broadcast. And I haven't seen that issued as of yet. So.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to see, because I know that's something I wanted to touch on in a little bit, was just like how the Ice Hockey Classic affects the AI, because we have seen, and we did see this, there's been scheduling changes to what you would normally otherwise would see if there wasn't this tournament or series in the middle of the season. Obviously, the Melbourne Ice didn't play last week. Canberra Brave aren't playing this weekend, and there are definitely current AI players playing in these games. Yeah, I know. It's really interesting to see how that affects the teams. And then, at the moment, I think apart from Josh Atkins was the only one I think announced for tonight's game, that's current player. But they've got Eric Walker and Josh Labrie from Brisbane. Josh obviously retired a month ago or so, and Eric was an import on the Lightning, but hasn't played for a while, so I think he might be on the reserve list now. But interesting. It is an interesting series to have in the middle of the AI season. I don't know. Do you think, like, would you prioritize AI over an exhibition series if you were a player?
I would have thought so. That's a competition.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the classic is nice. I mean, it's for a good cause, and it does raise the profile of hockey in Australia, because it generally makes the local news broadcasts and gets highlighted a bit. I think from that perspective, but I think the star players probably should be playing for their teams, because I guess it also depends on where you are in the season and how far you are from the top of the league in terms of the ladder, and a bunch of other factors come into play as well. So, I just think it's a good spectacle, and it's positive for promoting the game. And I'm waffling. Sorry, I'm sitting on the fence.
No, that's okay. I do also wish there was a bit more of a connection between the Ice Hockey Classic and the AIHL, for instance, as well. I feel like
I wish there was an Ice Hockey Classic in Perth too, but Gary ignored us this year.
Well, it did make it to Tassie this year, so you never know.
I saw that. Awesome stuff.
Interesting, though. One question I think I've got coming for this weekend as well, between that series between Perth and Melbourne Ice, is will Booth be playing? Because he didn't play the last game in Tasmania in the Ice Hockey Classic, isn't named tonight. So I don't know if he's playing this weekend in Canberra. So I don't know if he's going to be going across to Perth or not, or if he's injured.
I haven't heard any rumors. I'd reached out to Michael and to Brian just to see if there's any broadcaster type intelligence to be offered for the weekend. Michael sent back a message. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but so I haven't. I won't know until tomorrow for sure.
Now we'll find out, and then we can all go speculate what's going to happen. It should be good.
The ladder is still so tight, so teams are just going to kind of start throwing everything at it. Mustangs got 2 almost must-need wins last weekend.
They did,
which makes it tighter again.
And they were over amazing teams in both the North Stars and the Ice Dogs.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry,
yeah.
I didn't get
that
my
was a big statement, I thought, from the Stags.
Convincing wins too.
Yeah.
Whereas the New South Wales team
as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh man, it was a big weekend for Perth. Obviously, you guys jumped to first on the weekend because not too many teams get to play 3 games in a weekend. But I mean,
I don't know how often that's happened. Did anybody sort of finally come up with a number in terms of when that may have happened?
I don't think it ever happened. I don't think anyone's played 3 games.
Pretty impressive.
Other than finals. That's the only time.
Especially including all the travel. Like you would have thought even like Sydney Coast, Newcastle.
Yeah.
It's relatively short. And for some reason I thought they were playing in Newcastle on the Sunday, and I ran into Bert Malloy actually at our kids' soccer game. And he said Brisbane. I was like, how did I miss that? Because that's wild.
Not to mention flying into Sydney, going to the Central Coast, back to Sydney, and then flying up to Brisbane. That adds a new dimension to the travel equation.
Yeah.
So it was interesting in that Brisbane game because obviously it was a lot more low scoring than we've often seen in the AI this year. but it didn't surprise me because I'm like, well, Perth are going to be pretty gassed for most of the game, I imagine.
They
but
had
they
the
managed
energy, but they intentionally changed the strategy to kind of match the fact that it was the third game of the weekend.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it was interesting. There was one moment that actually got me a good laugh from that game, and I'll just bring up the photo here. Obviously, it was a mistake with the amount of shots, but I went, oh, it's almost the end of the first period, and there's only been one shot all game, which is obviously a mistake, but it was more. But I went, oh, this is the real dull game. Everyone's trying to keep it tight.
Everyone's tired.
But massive effort on your third game of the weekend to only concede one goal.
Yeah, no, the boys did. They played the right system and the right type of game to come out with the result, and that's the thing. I mean, you don't focus on the results; you focus on the process. And if you focus on the process and play in the right way, then you hopefully have a favorable outcome. And that's as a coach, that's what I always focus on. I don't focus on gotta win. It's no. What do we do in order to put us in a position that we can be successful? And that's just part of the equation. And Ben and Mark working together, they managed to get the boys playing all on the same page.
Yeah, nice. Claire, did you have any other highlights from the weekend?
I think it was also mainly the Mustangs double win, because that really needed to happen. And I feel like Court was saying a few weeks ago, and it's so true, like they would win one, lose one, win one, and it just wasn't consistent. And not that everybody's going to win every game, but like you said, Chris, it's those systems and things like that you put into place that end up paying off. And I feel like you can really tell. I think I was hoping Rhinos would come away with a win. I just feel like they've got two of the highest point scorers, and they were having a great start to the season, and I just wish they would have another breakthrough. And it's hard because they have played more games than everybody.
Because I felt like they went through that little bit of a slump recently where they were conceding just lots of goals, like just lots of shots, lots of goals. But then I felt like the last week or two, they had tightened things up again, where they started being really competitive in games again, and they did get a win, but they've lost more still than they've won.
It's
and I feel like at the moment they're just losing those games that earlier in the season they were winning.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it broken down in segments, 5-game segments in terms of goals against, because currently they're sitting on 6 goals against per game. And you can't win games if you're going to give up 6 goals in a game. If you're only scoring, 4.5 goals per game. But it's interesting to see how the last 10 games compared to the first 10 games of the season in terms of numbers. Thanks shout out, by the way, before we go further, to Tristan Metcalf for his wonderful stats package that he puts out, and to Eric Ballnar for their stats. Huge benefit
so
to us calling the games.
It makes such a difference to everyone commentating, everyone around the league, to be able to have all that information. So they both do a tremendous job with all of that.
It's even interesting to see the different commentators, how they kind of set themselves up to commentate, and how they have it in front of them, with the stats, with the player numbers, with things like that. Is it something that you, obviously you said on the Saturday morning you get kind of the roster, and then you have a look at the stats from that?
I take advantage of Eric's Word documents, where he's put everything together, and I just download that, and once I get that sheet, I sort them based on who's in and who's out by number. I mean, Thunder, obviously I can remember their numbers and without looking at a sheet of paper, but for the stats and stuff, he's done all that, and it's just amazing to have that available. And it's actually, I had a similar format, but it wasn't as structured. So I had each player and where they're from, if they're imports, and their stats and where they played, and it's looking over their history of there's a few guys that have played in my hometown, Halifax, and from there, and it's neat to see that and have that connection. And so that's what I did. But now, I mean, I've been using the sheets that Eric puts together, augmenting them with my own stuff, like the milestones and stats on the team's leading scorer all time for both teams. I update that and yeah, so it's structured like that, and it's simplified with that sheet that and that work that Eric has put into that. So again, shout out to Eric for Eric Brook for putting that effort in, because it's a huge benefit.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of comments on here. My Beer League gives up less than 6 goals a game. Look, if you don't know Australian hockey, especially AIHL hockey, there are a lot of goals scored every week in this league at the moment. This year especially seems to be next level with the amount of goals that are going.
I agree.
But I'm also then, on the flip side, surprised about how many goaltenders have 0.9% save percentage averages too. Considering how many goals go in. But yes, Jack also asks, who should I be a fan of in Australia in hockey? Claire, who should Jack be a fan of?
I feel like it's $1 million question. I think maybe I'm going to have to put together a thing of, if you're into this, go for this on social media. But it's very, look, I have my solid favorites, and I'm a big, obviously, Rhinos fan. I love Canberra and I love North Stars. But again, hockey's hockey, right? So I think you just get AIHL TV, watch as many games as you can, and you'll get to know the players. You'll get to know, even skaters and things like that, and you'll be able to pick from there. So I don't want to tell anyone which way to go, but it's.
Well, I also find that every year teams play a bit differently. They're not consistently the same team every year. So if you're not from a place specifically and you're just coming in, got anyone to select from, just find out who you enjoy watching and then just keep watching them.
Yeah. In the last 3 years, you've had the Bears hiatus and the Ice Dogs hiatus, and so that it's been totally different for those 3 years. And you've got imports coming in and going out. You've imports changing teams. Adkins and Rob Lakovich, who played here in Perth last year, is on the Ice Dogs this year, and Nathan Vertesh, who was here 2 years ago, is playing for the Ice Dogs now. And you get all that changeover, and year on year, it's imports, but also the locals changing teams and so on. So it's definitely a different vibe each year.
I'm always interested to see if you start out following a player versus a team, and then obviously come to love that team, and then if that player gets transferred somewhere else, do you follow the player or do you stay with the team? So,
well, especially the players with the big personalities. I think like Brian Funes, for instance, long-time Sydney Bears player, now Newcastle North Stars. Other people who are like literally Funes fans who are now supporting Newcastle. I don't know.
I've been a Leafs fan since 1967, so that's the answer. You just go with the team.
Yes. I've threatened so many times if a player leaves and I can't bring myself to do it. Next year will be our year. It's fine.
It's looking good.
Someone does ask here, AHL TV. AHL.tv is the place to watch all AHL games. Every single game this season's on there. 155 games for the year. That includes finals. It's like $80 at the start of the year, like AUD, but it's obviously less. There's a half-year package as well, and there's monthly packages. You can pick it up. So it's pretty cheap.
AIHL TV, not
AIHL.
AIHL, yes.
But everything's on that side of things. We've talked about as well. It has leveled up a lot. The commentary, the camera work, like the broadcasting package as a whole, year on year is better and better and better. And for that price a year to see every game, phenomenal.
And I remember when it first started, people whinged about a lot of the quality, and people still do whinge about quality and dropouts and all that stuff because, technical issues do happen everywhere, even to the very best of broadcasters out there. But overall, though, the number has decreased a lot, so you're getting a lot more consistent. I, like everyone, would absolutely love a solution in Arena where the camera isn't behind the net, but at the moment, it's just not possible.
Yeah.
You get that a lot in the junior games and junior leagues in Canada. A lot of them have the netting, and the camera focuses through the netting onto the ice, so the quality is not great either. So it's not just here; it's in the hockey heartland of North America and the junior leagues, where you have the exact same thing happening in many of the rinks. So yeah, it's just one of those things that it would be nice to have, but it's not easy.
Yeah,
totally. Let's move on to a couple of other topics, guys. Claire, you really wanted to talk about the league top scorers. You mentioned it before that I think I had a look today. 4 of the top 10 players are from teams outside the top 6. How crazy is that?
And I feel like it's really hard because, and that just shows that, like, I love the work that they're doing and super happy to celebrate them, but it does show that a player or two does not make a team, right? You feel like, you see Perth, for example, and they've got multiple people scoring goals all the time, and it lifts the whole team up, and it would be so hard for people, Rhinos and Brisbane and things like that, to have such high goal scorers and just not be able to crack staying in the top 6. And it's just, do you know what I mean?
But I think that also shows us how close the league is, right? This year.
That is very
there
true
are lots of teams that are able to find themselves in a situation where they're currently outside the top 6, but they could break in.
Yeah.
And that does go down to Brisbane as well. I know Brisbane, it's getting a bit tougher for Brisbane now, but, there's still got chances there. And, with Hops and Alex Campbell, they've got 2 massive point scorers.
Yeah.
On that
Yeah.
team.
Yeah,
Well, there's
Alex
only 4 points between
fantastic
Rhinos
year.
and Lightning on the ladder.
Yeah. But I mean, it is interesting. Perth obviously always has a lot of big point scorers as well. Bouchard's having his season of his career in the AI, which is fantastic to see him, but still is a speed demon. And
Not to mention playing 55 minutes a game.
Yeah. The last home game I went to for Rhinos, in the third period, 40 seconds or 45 seconds, Boosh got off, and that's it. And every year he gets older, he's just, I don't know, he's bringing something special, but that's a testament to the whole league. The whole league is, again, leveling up and getting better and things like that. Like what, just as said before.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Yeah, every year the league is getting better. Just 1 or 2 years ago, they could only run 2 lines. Now you can't. Well, and a big difference of that was us increasing the game lengths. So, when we went from 15, 20 periods to having 20 minutes every period, all of a sudden you couldn't just get away with running 2 lines for a whole game.
I know from a Perth perspective, they're much more successful when they roll through the lines.
Yeah.
The imports and the top players, they do get tired for 3 20-minute stop time periods, and the more you can roll in the third and the fourth line, and an energy line to get out there to crash and bang a bit and with some speed, and that makes a huge difference towards the end of the game. And I think Perth is one of the top third period teams, and they've got positive numbers, goals for and against for all 3 periods. And one of the few teams that actually has that. So it's when you roll the lines, you have success.
I feel like it also enables the teams to play more youngsters than they used to as well.
Yeah.
Because typically
the season he's having, and Gustav Remler Jensen and those guys, I mean, they're just having a fantastic season, but they're being given the opportunity to play too.
Yes. Yeah.
Do have a couple of comments on here. Jeff has joined the chat. Number 89, Angel, having a great season.
Yeah.
And let's go Thunder.
Yeah, people often ask me what it's like calling Riley's games, and I mean, it's no difference to me because I'm calling the game and it's rolling through, but if you ever notice, whenever he does score or do something, the voice tends to crack a little bit.
That's so nice. But as you said, you call it, you watch it so differently, and then you go home and watch it again. Yes, to listen to how you went, but again to properly watch his game.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, that's the only way I can actually focus on his game, and sort of see how he goes. And sometimes he asks me how he did and what he needs to do. But I mean, he mostly knows it anyway, so I don't do much coaching from home on things. But some of the best advice that I've ever given parents that watch their kids play is that the ride home in the car after the game, it's not a time to coach them and tell them what they did and didn't do. It's to tell them the 6 simple words: "I love to watch you play." And that's all parents should be telling their kids when they go home after a game. And I think it's so fundamentally true.
I love that.
I love that. Everyone's reminiscing in the chat at the moment. 15-minute periods makes me feel old remembering that. Yes, Anthony, that's right. And then Hobsquivel. Or the really olden days, I remember the 15-15-15 as well. Like, that is old school AIHL right there. And I like to remember Joe Hughes running around causing a ruckus. Oh wait.
That has not changed.
No change. Still absolutely happening all the time.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the Mustangs, I did want to get onto this as well. They've obviously opened up a new bricks and mortar retail store this week. They've made that announcement finally after sort of previewing it last week. Second AIHL team to do so. Obviously, the Melbourne Ice are the other one. They've got a competition to name their store. Claire, do you have any ideas of what they should name their store?
Oh, there were some fun, Stang related ones, but overall, name aside, I feel like the sport is growing so much, and now's the time to capitalize on it. People want the jerseys, people want the merch. While it's growing and growing and growing, jump on it now, and I think it's perfect. I'll reserve my names. Might drop some in the chat later, but
nice.
I feel like it's exciting, and it is obviously there is two team stores now, both being in Melbourne, and I think Sydney would be great because you've got those 2 teams as well there, which would be perfect, and especially in a shopping centre. But I just think it's exciting for the league.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is, and it's exciting to see that sort of thing happen. I mean, as much as bricks and mortar might not be the go-to for a lot of teams. A lot of teams, have obviously online shops, and that's fine. But yeah, I think if you can, that's great. And obviously, the district Docklands is a big supporter of the league in general and ice hockey in Australia, so that's always very helpful. And
it works if you get the retail rate there, like Melbourne does, and which is the other rink that's in the shopping mall that's played over east?
Sydney.
Macquarie, Sydney,
Macquarie, So I mean, they've got a shopping mall there. Probably works there. I mean, for a place like Perth, it's in an industrial area, so it's basically just the day shop opening for merchandise at the rink on game days, and
which is also like Newcastle,
plus online as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Claire, though, Erin is also at the shopping centre, so.
Yeah, and I think, people, it's hard because people, they want to get it on game day anyway, which serves its perfect purpose. And you always get those people, I wish I got that. I wish I got that. And to have that, I guess, there. Courtney in the comments has said, favourite one, the Stables. Perfect. Brilliant name.
The Stables. I like that too. That's a good one.
Anyway, you're seeing shops at the rinks selling out so fast, which is obviously what you want. But to actually see it happen, jerseys are going out. Newcastle sold out. They released a new beautiful jersey. It sold out before puck drop.
Yeah. And I look at Canberra games, for instance. You go to a Canberra game at the AIS, and there is a massive line for the merch store, massive.
Yes.
So yeah, there's
My
definitely
son hates
demand.
it because I won't wait in line. I'm like, there's hockey to watch.
No, that's fair. All right. We've talked about that already. Let's go back to the weekend preview. Obviously, we already talked about the Thunder Ice game. Predictions, Claire?
I think if the home crowd advantage is got to work in your favor, especially they're coming off 3, which yes, they, as you said, Chris, they played a different game on Sunday, but they've also got momentum. They're at the top of the table. They want to increase that lead over North Stars, because a few games can make a huge difference with a ladder this tight. So I'm going to back Perth. Plus, also, I've noticed they've been like Friday night's game. They played really clean hockey, and I'm a big fan of clean hockey. There's a place for fights. There's a place for all those different things, but respectful, clean hockey, it shows you can still win.
Yeah.
I think they've got one of the lowest penalty totals in the league,
which is crazy, right? Because you guys have some hard-hitting players on that Perth team.
Yeah. Henry Ovanan has been. He's just got a hard body and he hits hard. Ben Bro as well. He's just so solid and so on. I mean, he's another hard hitter, and Billy Tennessami, and I mean they're all Jordy and Webby and Riley even is physical, and so Woody as well. I mean, got some physical guys, but they play it clean.
Yeah.
I also think Newcastle's got to win this weekend. Sorry. Go.
Chris, prediction for the series?
Oh dear. I mean, I feel like I'm telling my sister or something like that in terms of calling whether it's going to be Perth or the ice. I mean, I think it depends to some extent who the ice end up bringing. If Booth and Dupre and so on travel, that'll be a different game. I think the difference in the rinks themselves, I think I saw a comment, the Perth rink being smaller and the ice not as good a quality, obviously, as Melbourne, that has a huge impact on the teams coming in. Whereas I
always feel like the ice in Perth it looks to me to always be a bit slower than some other rinks.
It's a challenge. I mean, the guys do as good a job as they can with the facility that they have, and I think given what they have to work with, they do a really good job at getting the ice ready. But it is rough ice, and as I've said repeatedly to people that complain about the ice, I just say, hey, at least we're playing hockey in Perth, so
100%.
It could be worse. Could be concrete. So I don't know. I think Perth has a chance to take 2, and certainly at least split the season again with those caveats. Brisbane Ice Dogs, I think that's going to side depending on how well Brisbane can keep the puck out of the net. The Ice Dogs have Vertesh, who's hit the ground running. He's had a couple of hat tricks, I believe. Rob Lakovich has really solidified things, and you got Dmitry Kuleshov and Ivan and Costa and so on. So I think Brisbane will be in tough against the Ice Dogs this weekend.
I think Brisbane.
Sorry.
Oh, I think Brisbane is so important for them this weekend as well, because they just started to lose range from the other teams chasing top 6, so they really need those wins to be able to get back up. So I think they're going to be coming out all guns blazing to try and get back into the equation. But the Ice Dogs, for instance, it's a big weekend for them. they're coming off their own sort of bit of a slump as far as points goes. Like, they keep losing close games recently. So they're going to be really hungry to get back on the winning.
And they got the ice sort of chasing them down too, so it's going to be an interesting weekend for them.
Yeah, and they, both the Sydney teams, both last weekend, obviously they lost games, so they both dropped down to those sort of 5th and 6th placing. So it's getting real toasty there in the centre. Game of the week this week on ESPN is North Stars versus Bears. Big game. Claire, what are you expecting from that?
I think I'm going to go North Stars. I think it's a must-win for them. I think it's hard because every game almost this weekend is a must-win for each team, right?
Yeah.
So that's where it's going to be super tough. But we had a few of the young guys like Ruben Nals and Gustav Remler Jensen play for a few games for Rhinos last year. And it's really cool to see how they've evolved for the Bears too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting one.
No worries. Chris, do you have any final points you want to add?
No, I mean, it's been enjoyable and being able to give a Western perspective to the group. I'm happy to jump on, and I'm happy to do it anytime you'd like. I really enjoy talking hockey, as I say, and promoting the game. So, I think just a shout out again to the broadcast guys, the front row screens that put in an effort, and it's fun watching hockey, and it's fun watching the game grow in Australia, and look forward to it continuing to grow, and look forward to seeing you guys at finals in Melbourne.
Yes.
Love it. Ben does say, well done, Chris.
Thanks, Ben. Haven't embarrassed you too much, have I?
Anthony's come at Sidesmith Sketchkov. Who can score inside 90 seconds? Claire, what do you reckon?
That'll be an interesting one. I think they're both going to be out for it. And you know what? Sides always surprises me. So I wouldn't be so sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's some real big guns at the moment.
And Sketchkov's really coming on too. I mean,
man, he's having such a good season.
Yeah.
So, anyways, listen, guys, I've got to shoot off. I got to head off to play and coach tonight.
No worries,
back to it.
No worries. It was great to have you
Good
on,
luck.
Chris. Thanks so much for joining us.
It's been a lot of fun.
Go Leafs.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye.
He's
Claire.
so lovely.
He is. Any final words for yourself? Any final points that you want to raise?
I think overall, I'm starting to think Bears are a team to watch. I'm just.
That is a good call.
You heard it here first. But yeah, it is.
I raised it last week. I love their youngsters getting heaps of ice time at the moment and doing so well with it. You know, and then you got Sites, who is a gun, who's come into the team. Like, they are an exciting team to watch, and they've got good D too. So
they're just really nurturing those young guys because they are the future, and giving them those experiences is going to pay off.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this weekend, most games are must wins for every team.
I feel like that's true. It's pretty crazy weekend, really. Obviously Canberra's not playing, so I'm just looking forward to watching a lot of hockey. It should be a lot of fun, especially now with the World Cup dying down a bit. I got a bit more time to watch more hockey again.
That and plus NHL. I've noticed a lot of people commenting, NHL's done now. We're really leaning into the AIHL, which is perfect. It's what we want to see.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the problem that our rinks are sort of almost at capacity for most teams at the moment. But yeah, there's a lot of demand there for hockey, and if the more the AI can grab onto that and the ADub in the summer season, the better.
Yeah, beautiful. And I'll be interested to see if I might email Stephen and see, at the end of the season, the numbers for AIHL TV year on year.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. There's an increase this year, hopefully. I'm really looking forward to seeing that too. Because, we've got all these new fans around the world, and it's great. Really is cool. I just wanted to give my last point to, at the moment, Ice Hockey Australia has the national championships going on in Newcastle at the Hunter Ice Skating Stadium. 10 days of hockey. This includes the tournaments for Ginsberg, De Vries, Tange, and Boxall. Games are broadcast live on YouTube, so anyone around Australia, anywhere, you can go watch those games. Watch, the next generations, the women, everything coming through. And then, tickets are available to attend in person at here. They're really cheap. It's $30 for the entire tournament. or day passes for $7.50, and kids under 17 are free. So yeah, there's more information and the schedule available on a dedicated Facebook page that we will share on Oz Hockey Media for people.
It's a really great atmosphere in that rink. I know the coach of the New South Wales 13U team and a few of the girls for the women's, and the level of hockey in this country overall, again, is shifting, and it's absolutely incredible to watch. So if you can get down there to watch it live, definitely do so. If you can't, jump online because you will not be disappointed. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. Just fantastic. And I love this. I love that they've brought back this idea of having like one big championships where all these tournaments are held together. I think it provides a lot of excitement and fun for everyone involved. Although I do feel for Eric, who has to call like so many games.
yes. But he's got a great spot to watch from, so it's not too bad.
That's true. Yeah. No, it's really cool to see. Some final comments on here. And Ginsberg de Vries Tangerbox are my favorite law firm.
That's brilliant.
And we've got this other one here. As a Bears fan since 2011, I really have been waiting for Perth to win a cup for years. So many seasons they've deserved the recognition of a Goodall because they've played so well. I could not agree more. The amount of times where they just sort of freeze when they get to finals and just can't get over the line. They were so close in 2019, actually, in Newcastle, as opposed to Melbourne, where they moved it up to Newcastle. But the Bears won that year, obviously. So I'm sure you would have been happy about that result. But, yeah, obviously Perth waiting for that cup. It's interesting in the A-Dub, the Inferno won their first championship. So, but why not the Thunder this year? They are first. They could win the premiership, and then who knows if they could win the championship then.
It's a very real possibility, and if they could have both, Perth wins in A-Dub and AIHL, it'd be pretty cool.
I like this. As a Leafs fan, I need Perth to win. Fair. Yeah. And Cord also has one last point. If those overseas fans buy merch, that would be great for all the teams, I'm sure.
Yes.
Teams, they run on paper-thin budgets most of the time, so merch sales make up a good chunk of revenue for the year.
Well, it's the merch regarding the revenue, but it also, again, expands the reach, right? It expands the reach of individual teams, but also the AIHL as a whole. I know that there's a couple of teams that aren't shipping overseas. We've got to try and work that out because, again, we want to see all teams represented, right?
Yeah. And actually, one thing that we actually talked about last time you were on, I think, was the fact that I love the fact that this year I look at the Rhinos and you got a lot more Rhinos fans now in Rhinos gear.
Yeah.
Than ever before. Yeah. So
it's huge. It's nice to see the sea of people, and it's going to be very good again come finals because every section is going to be decked out, and it's really exciting to see. Do you know if Melbourne will be where it's hosted for the next few years, or is that up for grabs?
My understanding is that that's up for grabs. So they obviously got it for this year. Their multi-year agreement ended last year. I do believe it's just this year that they've got it.
Yeah.
There will obviously be another competitive tender process from different options.
Yeah.
This year, there were 4 different people that put up their hands to try and host. So, obviously that's some good competition there. There's lots of positives to everywhere. Like Melbourne has a lot of positives, but it's not a perfect venue or arena or host either. So there are other options that I'm sure could do a really good job. But
to have those tickets sell out so fast this year,
amazing.
It's proof in the pudding that everything's growing. People are willing to travel. People are leaning in properly.
like the early years where I was, started really getting into the AI, like you go to like finals, it was actually hard to sell tickets. Like
Oh,
they
okay.
would actually not even announce live streams for the finals until they could guarantee, ticket sales.
Wow. Okay.
Where now you don't have to worry about that. They already announced that they were going to be, there's every
Mm.
year finals is always going to be broadcast now,
Yeah.
and now ticket sales are selling out so fast. I
You
couldn't
got to
get
worry
over
about your
that.
internet connection.
Yeah. But also the fact that, again, not only are finals going to be, sold out in person, obviously there will be other tickets that will come available, because they obviously have reserves for every team, and not every team will end up making it. So
Yeah.
those tickets will probably then be sold.
Yeah, very quickly.
As well as they would have a percentage of tickets they would have to make available for single ticket sales, as opposed to weekend packages.
Yeah.
But so, anyone who doesn't have tickets, you still got a chance to get tickets. But yeah, I've kind of lost my train of thought now.
It's a good problem to have in a sport.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And so you've got that. You've then got the AHL TV showing all the games, and then you've got the finals also on ESPN now as well. So, there's plenty of places to watch AHL, which is great.
Definitely. No, thank you for tonight, and thanks for having me on the team. I'm really excited. So any fans at Newcastle, Central Coast, Sydney games, I'm gonna come and annoy you over the next few months, and it's I'm really excited. As well as players, so get ready.
It's going to be so good. It's fantastic to have you on board, Claire, and we look forward to everything that you can bring to us, as well as the community as a whole.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it takes a village, and Courtney does an incredible job, and you are phenomenal, and it's growing, and again, like everything's growing, and it's a really cool time to be part of the team. So thanks Court and Sean. I appreciate you guys.
No worries. I do have one final thing here. Shane does say quality of ice has to take priority of finals over capacity.
100%.
My understanding is there's lots of different things that they have to consider for a finals event, whether that be, general arena facilities, fan facilities, accommodation, travel, ice itself. All of these things have to be taken into consideration. So, and they do. So,
it'll be interesting. Watch this space.
Thanks so much for coming on, Claire. Thanks, everyone, for watching tonight and contributing with all your comments. It's been amazing. Make sure to keep an eye on our socials for all the latest that's happening in the AI and Australian hockey, as well as please do sub on YouTube. More subscriptions, the better on there for us as well. And, we'll see you next week. Enjoy the hockey this weekend, everyone. Cheers.